Alright, so I'm going to show you guys how to, now that you have your drawing gridded and you've got it numbered up at the top, it's kind of hard to see these numbers, but you should have it numbered 1 over here going all the way to 8 at the top, so 1 at the left, 8 at the right, and then 1 here at the top, and then all the way down to 10 at the bottom. And that should match up. It should be exactly the same way on your pastel paper. Alright, so you should have for this activity a white color pencil. I would make sure that it's sharpened. If it's dull, you're going to kind of make some thick lines on this that might cover up details you need. And then just a regular old pencil. 4H pencil isn't going to work very well for this. Alright? So what we're basically going to do, it's very similar to what we did for the oil pastel project. We're going to outline the shapes that the values made, or just important shapes that you will want to know. Okay? There are going to be especially areas here around the eyes where there's just a lot of shapes, and I probably, to be honest with you, will skip a lot of those. I'm just looking for like big shapes that I need to pay attention to. And the reason why this is an important step is because these shapes on your face exist because that's you and the light is hitting you. So if we don't pay attention to the shapes that these shadows and the highlights are making on our face, it's going to look kind of like you, but not exactly like you. So we don't want to get in the habit of generalizing those, and we don't want to miss some of them. So the reason why you have a white color pencil and a regular pencil is because, as you can see, there's some areas on your portrait that are probably really dark and areas that are lighter. So in the dark areas, you're going to use the white color pencil to outline, and with the lighter areas, you'll use the regular pencil, okay? So I'm going to just go ahead and kind of start and show you how I would do this. Let me zoom in a little bit. So like looking down here, like chin and the nose area, there's always going to be a lot of shapes here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go in, and I just want to outline these shapes that I see. And I know I have the lights off, so it can be kind of hard here. I want to basically outline this stuff. So again, I'm going to be more likely then to really pay attention to what's going on when I have it outlined. Now, out here, you can see I have like a really dark shadow and I have a lighter shadow. I'm probably going to use my pencil for this one because I'm not going to see white color pencil if I outline that. I get a lot of questions about this, like should I outline more or less, or I get questions like that. I will tell you that I go through and I kind of outline what I think I need. And it's not an unusual thing to happen that when I start drawing that I might go in and actually outline more, because maybe I just missed it initially. And it's not until I go in and start drawing that I actually see things that I need to probably just highlight a little bit more. So again, I'm paying attention to the shape that these shadows are making. I'm just going back and forth between using my pencil and my white color pencil, and I'm just creating an outline around these shadows. And everybody's shapes are going to look different. Now, it's when you get up into the eye, you're going to see that you have a lot going on there. I'm not going to get all crazy and start outlining a ton here. So you're going to spend a little bit of time getting these shapes drawn on. Again, it's important that we pay attention to the shape that these values are making, because that's what's going to make it look like you. You're not going to get form without these shapes. Now, when I go to draw, I'm going to be drawing these shapes, not just the edges of all my facial features, but I'm going to be drawing also to the shapes that I see the shadows making. And you're going to see, especially on the darker side of your face, you might see some of your facial features just sort of getting lost in the shadows. Alright, so I've got quite a few shapes outlined here. I'm not finished. I'm not finished at all. I'll do some in the hair, because I do get a lot of questions here about hair. How do I do this stuff in the hair? So I'm going to kind of zoom in over here to the hair. So all again I'm looking at are the shapes that I see these shadows or highlights making. So I just am going in there and just outlining this stuff. And again, these are the shapes that I'm going to also too be plugging in when I do the drawing. So again, when you do this drawing, it's going to look very similar to our oil pastel drawing in the sense that it's going to look like a topographical map. So I'm just looking for those shapes. Shapes, shapes, shapes. Some areas you can see a lot, some areas you can't see so much. Okay, so that's how I outline the hair. Now, for those of you that are having a hard time seeing anything at all, like highlights, shadows, maybe it's all in shadow, maybe most likely you probably have, it could be just overall just really dark. In that sense, you might have very little to actually outline inside your hair, and you're probably just going to be kind of like drawing the outside edge of your hair when you do your drawing. And a lot of that work could be done with just shading when we go to shade. All right? So I'm going to give you guys a chance to continue that. Oh, I do want to say something about the eyebrows. So for the eyebrows, basically what I do for the eyebrows, I just kind of draw a shape around the eyebrows just to get the general shape of it. I do not go inside of the eyebrow and try to break that up with all the hairs that are there. So I'm just looking for like kind of the outline of the shape. So if you do see a clear difference, like I do have some really darkness, a lot of darkness right there, I could just kind of like, you know, this is sort of lighter and this is darker, just kind of block that off. So I know that there's a big change there. Again, inside this eye, I'm not going to do too much just because there is quite a lot going on. There's a lot of shapes there, and I'm afraid that even if I go in and try to outline some of those, I might actually end up covering up stuff and not being able to see it on my photo. Now, another thing to consider too, guys, is that I am going to be sharing with you your photographs through Google, so you'll get sort of an invite to be able to view your actual image. And I strongly recommend that when we shade And if you get to a problem where, for example, you just can't see an area on your photograph very well, then you can look at the digital image on your Chromebook, which will actually show you more detail. The photograph, a lot of times, you lose some detail when it gets printed on the paper. So you'll get the digital image also too. All right, so I'm going to give you guys a chance to continue doing that, and then I'll show you what the next step is.